Good afternoon. Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you very much, Gregor. Bonjour tout le monde. Gregor, I'd like to thank you for all the work you've done over the course of the last 6 months, 4 months, I guess, getting this in place. It was even less. Even this gets to the point. I'd like to thank Mayor Sutcliffe, all our great colleagues from the National Capital Region Caucus. And I wanted to say just how great it is to be here today with the Kaiven team. And Frank and Troy, what you and your colleagues have created is absolutely extraordinary. It is great to see what you can build and how fast you can build. Congratulations. We are tantalizingly close to my riding of Nepean. Just across there. Very proudly in Anita's riding. Yes, Anita Vandervelde's riding of Nepean West. But in Nepean, it is the proud home to Kaiven, one of Canada's most successful developers, manufacturers, and home builders. It's one of a new breed that are driving a Canadian industrial revolution in home building, one we need. Kaiven is scaling up their plant from around 6 homes per day present to 38 per day by the end of the year. That is 10,000 homes a year built in their factory in Nepean. The 2 sets of homes behind me were manufactured in 2 days, assembled on site in 1. We kept the townhouses. We wanted to keep the townhouses open. We held back the workers from finishing it so you could see how things fit together, how the computer design fits together and tailors the structure. The one over there is being shipped to Nunavut, and I'll speak more about that project in a moment. Kaiven est la preuve de savoir-faire canadien dans la construction des maisons de l'avenir. Leur rapidité, leur rigueur et leur engagement envers l'innovation sont les raisons pour lesquelles nous sommes ici avec eux aujourd'hui. Exactly 6 months ago today, Canada's new government was sworn in for the first time. And on the steps of Rideau Hall, I promised that our focus would be action and change. And we immediately began to deliver that change. On day 1, we canceled the consumer carbon tax, which had become too divisive. And that helps bring down gas prices for all Canadians. Et après l'élection générale de notre première session parlementaire, nous avons réduit les impôts pour la classe moyenne, éliminé tous les obstacles fédéraux au commerce interprovincial et adopté la loi sur la construction du Canada afin d'accélérer les grands projets d'intérêt national. Cet été, nous avons conclu de nouveaux accords avec nos partenaires et alliés pour diversifier nos échanges commerciaux. In June, we struck a new EU-Canada partnership that will expand and deepen our trade, defense, and energy, as well as our commercial relationships. Le mois dernier, je me suis rendu en Ukraine, en Pologne, en Allemagne et en Lettonie pour renforcer notre prospérité et notre sécurité commune, notamment dans les secteurs des minéraux critiques, de l'énergie, de la défense et de l'intelligence artificielle. Au cours des 2 dernières semaines, nous avons lancé des initiatives et des investissements historiques pour protéger les travailleurs les plus touchés par les tarifs américains et pour renforcer la compétitivité de nos entreprises. Nous avons mis sur pied le bureau des grands projets et nous avons lancé notre première série de nouveaux projets de construction nationale afin de transformer notre économie. 60 milliards de dollars d'investissements initiaux, combinés à des stratégies qui vont catalyser des centaines de milliards de dollars supplémentaires. Et nous ne faisons que commencer. The change is just beginning. We need to keep moving with speed and determination because the upheaval in the global trading system is not a transition, it's a rupture. And its effects are already profound. Workers displaced from their jobs, supply chains disrupted, and massive amounts of investment held back due to extreme uncertainty. Now more than ever, we need to take control of our destiny. Dans cet environnement marqué par les bouleversements, le nouveau gouvernement du Canada se concentre sur ce que nous pouvons contrôler. Donner plus de pouvoir aux Canadiens en renforçant notre pouvoir économique. We're transforming Canada's economy from one that had become too reliant on a single trading partner to an economy that's more diverse, more resilient, that's built for Canadian workers and their families. The Canadian government's 7 core missions will build our economy, protect our workers, and empower Canadians to seize the opportunities that will arise from this transformation. We won't just manage through this crisis. We will prosper from it. And that brings me to today's announcement. We're focusing on our government's mission to make housing more affordable for all Canadians. You know, young Canadians are doing everything right. They're studying hard, finding a job, saving up. Yet for too many of them, rent is unaffordable and home ownership feels entirely out of reach. Across the country, it takes nearly 4 years for first-time homebuyers to save for a down payment, and in markets such as Toronto and Vancouver, even longer. Depuis des décennies, les experts sonnent l'alarme. Le Canada n'a pas assez de logements parce que nous ne bâtissons pas assez et pas assez vite. Aujourd'hui, avec les pressions croissantes sur l'offre, les prix demeurent trop élevés. Bref, le logement abordable est devenu une crise pour les Canadiens et Canadiennes. So we're in a housing crisis, as Gregor said, and it's going to take all hands on deck to get us out of it. Our private sector, our provinces and territories, municipalities, nonprofits, and Indigenous partners, all working together to speed up and scale up home building, to build the affordable housing that all Canadians deserve. And so today, Minister of Housing and I are proud to launch Build Canada Homes, a new federal entity that will supercharge housing construction across Canada. Build Canada Homes will do several things. It will help fight homelessness by building transitional and supportive housing in close partnership with provinces, territories, municipalities, and Indigenous communities. Secondly, it will expand deeply affordable and community housing for low-income households. Third, it's important. These are all important. Third, Build Canada Homes will partner with private sector developers to build affordable homes for the Canadian middle class. And finally, Build Canada Homes, in doing all of that, will catalyze the creation of an entirely new Canadian housing industry that uses modern methods of construction to boost productivity sustainably and at scale. So how we do that? Well, Build Canada Homes will offer flexible financial incentives. It'll approve large portfolio projects and quickly leverage public lands for housing so projects are de-risked, approvals are greenlit, and builders can do what they do best, which is to build. By combining development, financing, and innovation, Build Canada Homes will make large housing projects financially viable. We'll also attract enormous private capital into affordable home building. And it will enable private manufacturers and modular home builders to invest in new factories, expand capacity rapidly, and to continue to innovate. This, along with a series of other new measures, will help double the pace of housing construction in this country over the next decade. Maison Canada va transformer la façon dont notre pays augmente l'offre de logement. Bâtir plus vite, bâtir plus intelligemment et bâtir à moins de coûts. Maison Canada sera le guichet unique du logement abordable et accélérera les grands projets immobiliers pour les mettre rapidement en chantier. Cette initiative jouera un rôle clé dans notre plan visant à doubler le rythme de construction de logements au cours de la prochaine décennie. The core challenge at present in the housing market is it's just too hard to build. Loans are expensive, developers face year-long delays in permitting, and land and development charges and taxes can make up half of project costs. These are some of the reasons that there has been no productivity growth in construction in the past 40 years. And since the pandemic, construction productivity has actually fallen. We need big changes to turn this around. With an initial capitalization of $13 billion, Build Canada Homes will reduce the upfront costs of building by offering flexible financial incentives to attract private capital and to catalyze large portfolio projects. Build Canada Homes will use a range of financial tools, from contributions to loans, loan guarantees, equity investments, and investments in real property and housing. To streamline approvals, Build Canada Homes will greenlight projects in bulk. So instead of developers needing to submit dozens of applications separately, large portfolios of projects will be approved all at once. This is part of our government's broader efforts to cut duplication and reduce costs for Canadians. Multi-year deals will create steady demand, so developers can plan, expand, and build more homes. And modern housing factories can build the capacity that we need. To reduce the cost of construction, Build Canada Homes will maximize the use of public lands. The Canada Lands Company will be transferred to the Build Canada Homes portfolio. Yeah. A big deal. Yeah. That's going to streamline construction on public lands. Let me put this in a bit of context. As we stand here today, there are already 88 federal properties suitable for housing listed on the Canada Land Bank, spanning 463 hectares. That's the size of downtown Ottawa. I'm directing my cabinet colleagues to look for more, to determine those lands owned by their departments which can also be used for housing. This land will help lower costs for builders and, most importantly, lower the rents and new home prices for Canadian families. Parce que le gouvernement partage le risque des projets qui auraient été autrement bloqués peuvent enfin voir le jour. The second major challenge with housing construction in this country is that by using conventional methods, our construction is just too slow for the housing supply that we need to meet our current needs. It's also too expensive and too heavily reliant on traditional on-site methods. We need to transform the way we build by harnessing the latest technologies. And that's why Build Canada Homes will prioritize the use of cost-efficient and modern methods of construction, including factory build, modular, and mass timber. Factory build housing means homes, or large parts of homes, built in controlled factory settings, with precision, with advanced machinery, and benefiting from the latest technology. These homes can be standardized, mass-produced, and once completed, shipped to site and assembled in days or weeks rather than months or years. Factory production also enables housing construction to continue through Canadian winters. It's not always like this in the PN. This removes seasonal downtime that currently slows down the sector. And factory-built housing can accelerate home building by up to 50%, lower costs by 20%, and reduce emissions by over 20% compared to traditional construction methods. In short, Build Canada Homes will help us build faster, smarter, and more sustainably. And the third challenge for Canadian home building is our supply chain. Right now, the situation is that Canada exports raw materials such as timber, steel, aluminum, largely to the US. And then we import finished products such as windows, panels, and prefabricated units at a much higher cost. In effect, we are paying other countries to convert what we already have into what we really need. No more. No more. Build Canada Homes will adopt the government's new Buy Canadian policy and prioritize projects such as these that use Canadian resources. We'll strengthen domestic supply chains, create high-paying careers across the country, and ensure that new housing drives new orders for Canadian steel, lumber, mass timber, and aluminum. Nous créerons une toute nouvelle industrie du logement au Canada, non seulement pour bâtir des maisons, mais aussi pour exporter des maisons modulaires fabriquées au Canada, des produits de bois et des technologies de logement. Now, it's a big job ahead for Build Canada Homes to supercharge affordable housing development and create that new industry in Canada. It needs a strong and experienced leader. And that's why the Minister and I are pleased to announce that Anna Balau will be the new CEO of Build Canada Homes. Anna is a seasoned leader with deep experience in affordable housing, having served for over a decade on Toronto City Council, including as Deputy Mayor from 2017 to 2022, as Chair of the Planning and Housing Committee, and on the board of Toronto Community Housing. While on Council, Anna spearheaded the creation of Housing Now, which uses city lands to build affordable housing. And most recently, she served as head of affordable housing at the private developer Dream Unlimited. Canadians are fortunate, Anna, that you'll put your experience in the service of building faster across our country. Thank you. And notice that in a sense of urgency, Anna's here on a Sunday. We're all here on a Sunday. We are getting straight to work by announcing the first 4 investments and initiatives of Build Canada Home. First, as we begin to develop the public lands in Canada Lands portfolio, we will make good on that promise to prioritize modern factory-built housing. To begin with, Build Canada Homes will develop 6 sites to build 4,000 factory-built homes on federal lands, with additional capacity on those sites of up to 45,000 units. The first tranche, moving east to west, the first tranche of those sites will be in Dartmouth, Nova Scotia, Longueuil, Quebec, Ottawa, Toronto, Winnipeg, and Edmonton. What BCH will do is employ a direct build approach, overseeing and leading construction projects focused on affordable mixed-income communities. The second thing we're going to do out of the gate is to help protect existing affordable rental housing. The $1.5 billion Canada Rental Protection Fund will be launched under Build Canada Homes. Yeah. This initiative supports community housing by acquiring at-risk rental apartment buildings, ensuring they remain affordable over the long term. It also aligns Build Canada Homes' broader mandate, supply of affordable and non-market housing, not just by building new homes, but by preserving the ones on which Canadians already rely. The third thing the Build Canada Homes will do out of the gate is allocate $1 billion for new capital investments in supportive and transitional housing for those at risk or experiencing homelessness. It'll work in collaboration with the provinces, territories, and municipalities, and our Indigenous partners. We will pair those federal investments with employment and healthcare supports for those people. Finally, Build Canada Homes will partner with Nunavut's Housing Corporation to build over 700 public, affordable, and supportive housing units. And approximately 30% of those units are expected to be built off-site, such as the one over there, using factory-built housing. Now, Build Canada Homes will announce a series of additional projects across the country in the months ahead, leveraging those public assets, public lands, partnering with the private sector to build at scale. Chaque dollar fédéral investi dans les Maisons Canada se multipliera en attirant des capitaux privés, des investisseurs et des promoteurs afin d'élargir l'offre de logement. Nous mettons en place les conditions pour catalyser un maximum d'investissement et permettre aux bâtisseurs de bâtir grand et de bâtir maintenant. Le Canada peut accroître considérablement son offre de logement abordable et devenir un chef de file mondial en matière d'innovation dans le logement, y compris les techniques de construction, les matériaux durables et la fabrication de pointe. Les Canadiens doivent savoir que la route à suivre ne sera pas toujours facile. Cela demandera une mobilisation nationale comme on n'en a pas vu depuis la fin de la guerre mondiale. Un changement de cette ampleur n'est pas facile, jamais, mais c'est essentiel. Et pour un Canada uni et déterminé, c'est réalisable. So to finish, Canadians have given our new government a mandate to build a stronger Canada, to build a country where Canadians are empowered, with more opportunities that help you get ahead, with lower costs, safer communities, and homes you can afford. That's the foundation on which you can build your life, how you want it, and where you want it. By building smart, building Canadian, building now, we are building Canada strong. Thank you very much. Merci beaucoup.